first graders. Today is going to be a review of our digital and analog clocks to the hour because we want to make sure that you understand how to make time to the hour. And so let's look at, I took my homemade clock that I sent and I put it to my chart. So there's that clock I made, that beauty over there. And so a clock has some things that make it a clock, right? Every clock, how many minutes does it have on it? 60, you're right. There are 60 minutes in an hour. So because there are 60 minutes, that means that when I go around the clock, there are going to be 60 notches or 60 little lines because those represent the minutes. Okay. What else is there on a clock? How many hours are there? You're right. There are 12 hours. Okay. You see 12 hours, right? But how many hours are there really in a day? Even though there's only 12 hours on the clock, how many hours are there in a day? I'll give you a hint. If the hour hand goes around the clock, the whole clock, 2 times, how many hours are there in a day? So if it goes around 1 time, that's 12. If it goes around the second time, that's another 12. What's 12 times 2? Or 12 plus 12? 24. Very good. So there are 24 hours in a day. There's 12 hours represented on the clock, but the clock, the hour hand, goes around the clock 2 times in a day, in a 24-hour period. It starts at midnight. Midnight is in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. It's at 12 a.m. Okay? Goes around and it gets to 12 again. That's 12 p.m. That's noon. That's in the middle of the day. So at school, for us at noon, we're going to recess. That's our recess time, is at noon. So once it gets to noon, it's going to go around again, and then it's going to get to the next day. That 24-hour mark back at midnight the next day in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. Okay? So 60 minutes, 12 hours in a day, 12 hours on the clock, 24 hours in a day, has 2 hands. It has the minute hand and it has the hour hand. A little trick that always helps me remember which one was which is the word minute. When you write it, minute has more letters than hour, so the minute hand is longer because there's more. See the 2 words? Minute is longer than hour, so the minute hand is longer than the hour hand. And I just noticed I made my colors not match correctly to my clock, so I'm going to fix it. way it's not confusing. Okay, so there's a minute hand and there's an hour hand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice, again, making these times. So you need to either get your pretend clock, or you need to get your Judy clock that you have, or you need to use your math app, the one that we logged into earlier in the week, and you can use that to help you. I'm gonna grab my Judy clock, okay? Got it. Okay, so this is called an analog clock. Just a reminder, this is an analog clock. A digital clock is digital. It's like your computer. Your iPad, your computer, it tells you what time it is, and you don't even have to read this thing. It's called a digital clock. So I'm gonna write digital times up there, and we're gonna make them on our analog clock. Let me find my color marker I wanna use. Okay, remember we're practicing time to the hour. Okay, so I've written what time up there? 4 o'clock. Okay, go to your Judy, go to your app, go to whatever you're using, and you're gonna make 4 o'clock. Now, the minute hand, remember, when it's on the hour, the minute hand is always at no minutes, because look, 0 minutes. 0 is at the top. There's no minutes that have started. Then I'm going to take my hour hand, my shorter hand, and I'm going to manipulate that to the 4. And look, 4 o'clock. Okay? All right, let's try another time. $11 o'clock. Okay? So, do I need to move my minute hand? Look, 0. Okay? No minutes. I do need to move my hour hand, which is the shorter hand. I'm going to move it to the 11 o'clock. Okay, let's do 2 more just to practice. Okay, 7 o'clock. Oops, sorry. 7 o'clock. Do I need to move my minute hand? Nah. Look, 0, 0. Just keep it at no minutes. Okay. Now I do need to move my hour hand to the 7. 7 o'clock. Very easy. Okay. All right, last one. Get my pink marker. Ooh. Interesting. Did you see what I wrote? 12 o'clock. Do I need to change my minutes? No. Keep it at no minutes, right? But what? 12? What do you mean 12? How am I going to put my hour hand on the 12 if my minute hand is on the 12? What? What's what? Not even work. What is that? That's 12 o'clock. That's the craziest looking time ever. But that's 12 o'clock. When both hands are on the 12 o'clock. Good job. Don't let it confuse you. It's confusing, but don't let it. 12 o'clock. Okay? All right, good job. So, you need to remember these things. You need to remember that there are 60 minutes in an hour, and that's why there's 60 notches on your clock. You need to remember that there are 12 hours represented on the clock, but there are 24 hours in a day because the hour hand goes around the clock 2 times, okay? You also need to remember which hand is which. Minute hand is always longer. Look at that word minute. It's spelled longer. It is a longer word. So minute is longer hand. Hour hand is the shorter hand because it is shorter. Okay? So when you are thinking about different times of the day, it's usually has to do with midday, midnight, noon, morning, and all of that. So if we are at the beginning of the day, this is midnight, okay? You're sleeping. But this is the beginning of the first 12 hours in a day. You're sleeping, sleeping, sleep. Whoop, wrong way, wrong way. It's because I'm backward on my camera. You're sleeping, sleeping. Oh, it's about to be, oh, Miss Marsh wakes up right about now to go to my boot camp class. And keep going. You probably get up around here or here, 5:30 or 6 a.m. Okay, keep going. You're starting to arrive at school. Here's when this bell rings. You get to come to class at 7:35 a.m. Okay. Here's when the bell rings that you're late, 7:45. And here's about when the announcements come on, 7:46. So then we've got our reading time. Actually, no, we changed our schedule. Our math time. Then we do some reading and some writing, and then 10 a.m. enrichment time. So you go to enrichment, and then you come back, and we do a little bit more in the classroom, and then 11 in the morning, 11 a.m., you go to lunch. Look what's happening. Lunch is over, 11:35. We get to the first time the hour hand has gone around the entire clock. We've gotten to noon. Noon is when we go to recess. Okay. All right. Starting our next 12 hours. Up. There's PE at 1:30. Up. Up. There's the bell ringing for us to go home at 2:35. Up. There's when first grade gets out there at 2:40 because we're always late. And then look, you're either an extended or you're going home. Gonna keep going. 6 p.m. Extended is over, so you're either on your way home or at home already. Dinner time, homework, all that fun stuff. Then 7:30 hits, 8 o'clock hits. Maybe it's bedtime. Okay, you go to bed, sleep, 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 sleep. Then look, we're starting to approach when it's 12 again, but that's not noon. That's midnight. That's the second time it's hitting the 12. So now a whole new day starts. Crazy. Okay, good job, guys.